Hey guys, and welcome back to the Minimalist Homeschool. So I shared a little bit on Monday's video about what our monthly menu was for the month of January. But now as we're getting ready to go into February, I figured I would share not only what our menu is looking to be for the month of February, but again, just show you kind of the whole process of how I do this whole monthly grocery shopping, monthly menu plan. Yes, we literally do this. We have missed it some months, and the months that we miss it really stinks and it's frustrating. I hate playing what's for dinner. I hate constantly having to run to the store for things as little as we would have to go out. I would prefer that, and it's cheaper. This is something that we do. We try to be very frugal with the meals that we plan so that it is not costing a bajillion dollars, even though it still feels that way because there's a lot of us in our family. But this is something that come on, let's be real. Most of us are living paycheck to paycheck or less than that. So I think especially this year with the government shutdown, all of this is kind of coming up into the forefront of everything. But this is something that even if you're looking at, staying on the budget with food stamps or something like that, you can take your month's worth that you can allocate for food or budget. Maybe you get paid monthly, and so you need to be able to make it stretch. Maybe you get paid bi-weekly, and so you want to do a couple weeks worth of shopping instead of a whole month. Whatever works for you and your family. We just started doing this for once a month. I can go and it gets done. We are very, very simplistic in our menu planning process. Surprise, surprise. You don't have to be this simplistic with it. Maybe you come up with 31 or 30 different dinners that you would like to have. And so you buy more things, but just in a smaller quantity. For us, I take our 7 days out of the week and assign each day of the week a food item. Every month we kind of change it up, but I give each day of the week a food item, and then I just buy 4 times the amount that we need, so that way we can have that. Every Monday is this, every Tuesday is this. That's what we do to make it simple. Usually I hear, oh my gosh, there's no way my husband could eat the same thing like that or something like that. To be honest, it's not that it's my cup of tea either. I would like a little more variety, but with 4 different kids, and especially smaller kids, usually have like their favorite things that they like to eat, and I hate doing I don't like this, well, I like that, and I like it very, very simple. That is where we are at. But maybe you want to do, have a rotating menu. So you can pick out 7 food items you like for this week, 7 food items you like for the next week, and then rotate them. Whatever works for you guys. The point is to just pick out the items you're going to have, figure out what you need for them, and how many times you're going to eat that food that month, so you can go in one trip, buy everything up, call it a day. So I assign each day of the week with a food item. Breakfast for us is oatmeal all week long except for one day. Every Sunday I make big breakfast. That's what we call it, big breakfast day. We make pancakes and eggs and muffins and bacon or sausage and gravy. Whatever. I just buy up a bunch of different breakfast foods, and every Sunday is our big breakfast day where we make all kinds of stuff. But again, creature of habit here, we make up a big batch of oatmeal every single morning. Everybody is welcome to come in, have a nice hot bowl of oatmeal, and sit down and read the Bible together. That's what we do every day. So that's always breakfast for us. And then for lunch, we usually either are eating leftovers or simple stuff again, like, grilled cheese sandwiches, ham and cheese sandwich, quesadilla. Very, very simple when it comes to the lunch. The kids like making like PB&J or something kind of along those lines. So we just go very, very, very simple with it. 1, because it's frugal and it costs less the simpler you are with your stuff. And 2, it's easy. So that's what we do. Now it's coming to the end of the month. It's about time for us to re-up our shopping trip. So since I'm getting ready to do that, I wanted to share the process with you guys. So I sat down with my family and said, all right, I have my little paper, and I make our little thing, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, go through the whole week. and then started putting together, filling in the blanks, talking with the family, hey, what's something y'all want to eat? What's something that we all agree on, sounds good. Maybe it's not one person's favorite, but they can deal one night a week type of a thing. I have a lot of specific eaters. I'm not going to call them picky, but I have people that definitely have strong opinions about what it is that they eat. So I sit down, have the kids suggest some topics of things that they think sounds good, and then give dad veto power of what's going to make it on the list. So every Sunday is our pizza night. We have pizza and we watch Pastor JD's prophecy update every single Sunday night without fail. So we have a little local pizza place here at the end of the road that makes pizza. They're like super cheap and halfway decent. So that's just what we do. This month, for Monday, we have decided to do a crock pot chicken tortilla soup that I think sounds really good. I've wanted chicken tortilla soup on the list for a while now. I'm pretty sure Lily's not going to be a huge fan. Travis will eat it because he's precious and kind, so he'll just eat it and smile. And Virginia's hit or miss. But again, one night a week, we can make do. Every Tuesday is Taco Tuesday for us. I say Taco Tuesday, it really ends up being burritos and like taco salad more so, but that's our Tuesday. I am waiting for my husband to confirm what Wednesday is going to be, but we're probably going to do, my kids just love pizza. They want to eat pizza every single night and it drives me crazy. So that's why we have pizza night where we get pizza. But I think for Wednesday, this past month I shared that we were doing like chicken something stuffed croissants. We did like barbecue or buffalo chicken mix stuffed in croissants. So we're really enjoying the stuffed croissants, but I think everybody's a little burnt out on the chicken mix. So I think Wednesday is going to be some realm of like pizza stuffed pocket that we make out of croissants. So they're still technically getting some more pizza, but we can mix it up a little bit with that. So that's what Wednesday is looking to be. Thursday is our chili and cornbread night. And then Friday is going to be the white sour cream sauce enchiladas with like a Spanish rice side. And then Saturday's dinner is our Sabbath meal that I shared all about in our Sabbath video. But we do, the kids call it our Abraham meal, but we do steak. My husband grills steak, and then I make some like mashed potatoes and vegetable sides, and then we make a homemade challah bread and have the Lord's Supper communion every Saturday evening that my husband leads, and then we always make some kind of a dessert. So those are our meals. Again, oatmeal for breakfast, and then stuff for like sandwiches, quesadillas for lunch, and then I keep baking supplies on hand, my core items like flour, butter, eggs, sugars, stuff like that we keep on hand because every Tuesday is our writer's tea time and we bake something together as a family. So, you okay? So I usually will just have a mix. I have a little baking pantry that I just keep stuff in, and so we work with the ingredients we have and make up whatever. I'm telling you that anybody can do this. I don't even have a full-size fridge, you guys. We live in an old home with a funky little cove for a fridge, and so like a normal standard size fridge does not fit in it. So we have a smaller kind of funky shaped, just smaller size fridge to even fit in the spot. So we don't even have like a full-size fridge. I've got like a 3-shelf pantry here that has my dryer in it. It's kind of funky again, old house. So we definitely just make it work with what we've got. I just have to be very conscious of how I am storing stuff and putting stuff away and just kind of make it happen. We also feed our dogs a natural raw food diet. So all of the stuff that I purchase in our monthly grocery shopping includes their food as well. So all of that is included in what we do. I also make sure that the kids have a couple items for snacks every day. I like to buy fresh fruit, fresh vegetables that we keep, especially things like apples, oranges, carrots that are really super easy to keep and they last a long time. So that way every afternoon we have snack time and they've got a fresh fruit or fresh vegetable along with something like some organic popcorn or graham crackers or pretzels or some kind of like snacky type food that's somewhat healthy that they can have in the afternoon. So I buy that in bulk, so we have plenty of that. And then any of the, no, it's not snack time. It's almost lunchtime though. Any of the after lunchtime is snack time. Okay. That's what I just said. Why do you have highlighters rubber banded to your feet?
No, don't ask questions.
Don't ask questions. Fantastic. All of the fruits and vegetables that are the most perishable are the ones that we eat first, and let the things that we know will last a little bit longer be the things that, we kind of work and last. So if we do get like berries and things like that I know are going to spoil quicker, then we will eat those first and save like the apples and oranges until later in the month. So same thing with lettuces, taking the lettuce out, keeping them stored in mason jars makes lettuce last a million times longer. There's lots of little tricks and things that you can do to get even the produce to last longer. Sometimes either there isn't enough of something that I need when I go for a shopping trip. I do like 90% of it at Aldi, which is the only way to make this affordable. If there is, okay, hold on please, sweetie. Sometimes there isn't enough of what we need of something, or we just need to restock up on something, usually like fruits and vegetables. Sometimes I will make a second trip throughout the month, but again, I pretty much have the bulk of everything we need, so it's just running in and grabbing a very specific few items, and it makes it pretty easy. We also are looking this spring, Lord willing, to start growing. I really want to put a focus into a garden and the fruits and the vegetables, the things that we eat on a normal basis. I really want to put an effort, hopefully this year, into growing those things, so that way we should hopefully be supplementing the need for all of the produce type stuff with things that we are growing on our own. Also raising the chickens. We have some that are for meat, so we will have that coming in soon, which is super, super exciting. Okay, so I put together my list of all of the things that we are going to eat for this month. And then I will look at the calendar just to make sure, are there 4 Thursdays this month or 5 Thursdays this month, whatever, go through all the days to figure out for each menu item how many times I plan to make said item. And then next I will list out the ingredients I need for each thing. So, 1 pound of chicken, half a block of cheese, a tomato, sour, whatever the items are. I will just list out what those items are that I need to make each meal item that one time. Then, making it easy, I just multiply by 4 or 5 or however many times you're going to make that meal. And that will give me my list to put together of what items I am going to need for that month's worth of groceries. Same thing like oatmeal. We go through about a container of oatmeal each week. So I go ahead and buy 5 just in case we make oatmeal cookies throughout the month to make sure that we have enough. But go through and figure out how many things you need. I kind of look through our pantry to see if there were any, kind of leftover items that we have that I don't need to replace. But I go through and I make just a master list. I use the Out of Milk app that you can download to put everything in, or sometimes I do like a physical paper list and just take a pencil with me and mark it off as I go. Again, most everything I get is from Aldi. There are a few items I get. The only stores we have local to us besides that are a Walmart and an Ingles. So sometimes, or not sometimes, but I go over there and I have a few items that I get from there. Everything else pretty much comes from Aldi. We don't really buy Olivia baby food specifically. She is still nursing, so I make sure I get myself some extra snacks. Organic granola bars and fruits and vegetables, almonds, things like that. But she doesn't do like baby food per se. We just feed her what we're eating, and I get some extra like cubed squash. They have at Aldi like organic cubed squash and sweet potatoes, stuff like that, that are easy to keep in the freezer, and then I just pull some out as we need them, let her eat those. But we pretty much just give her some of what we're all eating. Same thing with like bananas. I'll get some ripe bananas and some not ripe yet bananas. So that way we can start with the ones that are already ripe and then work our way towards the ones that are really green when I buy them. In a couple weeks, they'll be good to go. So we do that to make everything fit. All right, go grocery shopping to my stores, buy up how much I need, take my list. You have to keep track of everything when you're buying this much stuff. It's too much. So I go and I get everything, I bring it home, and then when I get it home, I lay it all out. I have shown pictures before when we do this. Our car is like packed to the max with stuff, and when we bring it all in, we use like laundry baskets and just load it up in the laundry baskets, bring it in the house, separate everything, refrigerator, freezer, and then pantry. Once we've done that, I go through especially perishable items like, any of the dairy and meat products and even, fruits and vegetables. I will go through and separate stuff by the expiration use by dates. So the chicken, I'll label it, for each thing. So this is for week 1, chicken tortilla soup. The beef, this is for week 1, burritos and taco salad. Obviously using the stuff that's going to expire the soonest, using that stuff up first. Anything that is going to be used after that date just gets put up in the freezer. I mark it so I know which week and which meal it's for, and then put it in the freezer to pull out as needed. So that way some of our meat and stuff is in the fridge and then the rest is in the freezer. We have a very small freezer, so I have to make it work with everything. But even with like the canned beans and the oatmeal and the snacks, I take a Sharpie and write on them week 1, 2, 3, 4. So that way we make sure as we're using stuff on the appropriate week. I even mark on our calendar, depending on what day of the week it is that I'm doing the grocery shopping, when the week starts. So that way we make sure that we're not eating stuff too quickly, that we're pacing ourselves. So that way we don't get to the last week of the month and have no food, even though we already did this. It's not perfect science, but I'd say we stick to it fairly well most every month. Even like blocks of cheese, I label everything so that way I know what I have it designated for and in what week. So that way, again, it's just keeping everything on track. The more you do it, the easier it is. It really isn't even like a second thought in our household anymore to ration and allocate all of the things out. It makes it really super simple. We know each day of the week, hey, it's Thursday. Oh, okay, well, it's chili night. That's easy. We know what it is. It can help me in my homeschool day when I am busy and I know what's going on. Days that I know are usually busier are ones that I allocate crock pot meals to. So in the morning I can just dump everything in and it can go throughout the day. Just makes the whole process really, really simple. Hi, Ben. Hi, Ben. So I shared with you guys the other day, and if you follow me on Instagram, I've shared with it there, but we had like a super unexpected loss in our family just a few days ago. And I tried to stay real busy the first couple of days and power through. I don't know if that's even a thing. And I feel like today that I'm filming this is Monday. And I don't know. I can't do it. I got up, got dressed. I thought maybe just yesterday sitting around in sweats and taking the day off, maybe that just didn't help. So today I'm trying to dive back into all this work that needs to get done. And it's just hard. Grief stinks and it's hard. And then I finished some filming the videos you were just watching, and then I did something to my back. So I've been sitting on doing heat and ice and stuff, and it just hurts. And I told the kids we're just taking this week off of school. I don't think I can do it. I've got other stuff that I need to get working on, but it just, mommy's sad, and I don't think I'm going to be super awesome person who gets everything done this week. So we were taking a week off of school. I'm going to work on some stuff here and just take it a little bit slower because life is hard. But besides all that, I want to go ahead and answer some of your guys' questions when it comes to our monthly menu planning monthly grocery shopping, stuff like that. Question I get quite frequently. Hello, Miss Bumby. She's in there playing, being a goosey baby. What stores do we go to? Aldi's my number one. We do not have an Aldi here in town. It's about 20 minutes away, 20 to 30 minutes, depending on which one I go to. So I make the trek to Aldi. So another thing that actually kind of pushed us into this monthly menu planning thing was that we don't have an Aldi here in town, and I didn't want to have to be driving all the time over there, because how are we really saving money if it's like taking, an hour out of my day and just travel time plus gas and everything else to constantly go over there and do that. And so to kind of conserve that, I was like, well, let me just go to Aldi once a month and I'll get everything, is kind of where this all started from. So Aldi's my biggest one. If you don't have an Aldi, that really does stink. I'm sure you have a million other places close to you that are probably fantastic and great. Aldi's just really awesome. And especially, this was another question about like what type of food do we eat and stuff. We are not perfect by any means, but I strive to eat a clean, organic foods. That's what I'm going for. Wouldn't call it a diet because nobody's on a diet, but that's what we aim for. So Aldi has an amazing selection of organic foods that are very, very cost effective. Back in the day when we were raking in six figures and I could do all kinds of stuff, we'd shop at Whole Foods and all the other stuff. But y'all, I can't afford that, and I've got kids and there's a lot of us, like, no way. But I don't want to sacrifice the quality of what we're eating. So Aldi has a great organic selection. And like I said, we try to find everything. Non-GMO is a big one for me. Organic. I don't want to be getting filled up with various chemicals and nastiness. No, thank you. And then clean eating. So I want to eat non-processed foods, right? I try to think of how did God intend for this item to be? I want to try to eat it as close to that as possible. Again, we're not like super strict lunatics over here that are like really legalistic about this stuff, because we do have other stuff sometimes, but that's my goal and what I try to eat the most of. I want to eat real food. I want there to be some of everything in moderation, of course, but I want to eat real food. So Aldi is our biggest one that we go to. And then the two stores that we have local to us that we will get a few other little items from would be Walmart and Ingles. I love Ingles. It's a really great store. It's actually based out of Asheville, which is super close to us, so that's kind of cool, except for it's just a lot pricier, so we don't do all of our shopping there. I used to believe that it got a better deal if I got it from Walmart, and that was a cost-effective option for us, but especially after doing Aldi, Walmart is like a joke when it comes to prices compared to that. So I definitely try to do that. How long does it take? This is the one downside. In the end, you are saving a ridiculous amount of time versus having to go to the store like every other day or even weekly or bi-weekly. But day of, when I go grocery shopping, it is a full day event. Literally. Usually the evening before, I put together our shopping list. So the day before, I'll ask my family, like, hey, what dinners do we want? I know I always get a couple bags of coffee and a couple things of certain things that we always get. But I will put together my list, and then usually day of shopping day, we have breakfast and family Bible study every morning. And then after that, so usually around about 11 o'clock, about 10:30, we've usually finished family Bible study. I will nurse the baby and then usually leave the baby home with my husband and my son. And then usually I try to just go with just one of my daughters. Usually Lily is the one who comes to help me. Sometimes I take the baby, sometimes I take all of our girls. So the baby, the 8-year-old, and the 5-year-old. But it's really nice if I can just take the one oldest girl, because it's a lot going on. We usually by about 11 o'clock, we will go grocery shopping. We will spend usually like an hour and a half at Aldi getting everything done. If we have the money, a little treat for our family that we do this once a month is we get Chick-fil-A for lunch to bring back with us. Doesn't always happen, but we don't have a Chick-fil-A here in town and we kind of miss it. So there is one right over by the Aldi that we go to. So if we have enough money, we get Chick-fil-A, come home, have lunch. So we usually are home around that like 1 o'clock window, give or take. And then we will get all the Aldi groceries brought in from the car, which takes a while. Everybody, seriously, we take laundry baskets and we keep making trips, and everybody just loads up the laundry baskets with stuff, brings it in, and then me and like one other kid will start separating things into like refrigerator, freezer, and pantry. So we get everything in. I get all the Aldi stuff. I do it myself because, like I said, I label everything for what week and meal that it's for, and then I separate everything and start getting it all to fit. Again, we do this every month, so I kind of have like a routine down of how I know I can get things to fit, but it takes a little while. So I will usually spend like an hour or so just putting away the cold stuff. Then once the cold stuff is put away, I will take my 5-year-old usually to come and help me here locally in town and get the stuff from Walmart and Ingles. So having to go to the 2 different stores and trying not to get sidetracked and having a 5-year-old with me and all of that stuff takes me another hour or 2 to go through and do that. We probably could be more efficient, but it's a lot of just, doing all of that. So then we come home and then I still have like all the rest of the stuff to put away. I usually am putting stuff away again because I'm labeling and organizing and separating, and I like my stuff like lined up. And I guess I'll show you guys what's left in my pantry. There's not much left, and it gets kind of messy as the month goes on, but I try to really organize my stuff. So I'll show you guys how it looks right now. And all the other videos from all the other times I've talked about this, I'll link down in the bottom so you can go check them out because I've gone into detail about this stuff before too. But it's a whole day process. Usually I get all the cold stuff away by dinner time. We're usually eating leftovers from the day before because I have been working like crazy all day to get this done, or Daddy grills something and then I don't have to mess with it. But usually after the kids go to bed, I am still in here like finishing up like pantry items and stuff and getting stuff put away. It is an all day event for us. Again, it's my husband and I and 4 kids, and sometimes we also host and have my brothers living with us. My mother-in-law used to live with us, so it's a lot of people. It takes me all day to do everything. So yeah, it's a lot up front, and by the end of the day, I'm like, oh my gosh. But thank goodness I don't have to do it again. It really saves time overall, but the actual day of process, it's a lot. How do you keep produce fresh for a month? That is a big question that I get the most. I probably get that question like 100 times every time I talk about anything with monthly menu planning. It's tricky, obviously. It's also one part of the reason why I am very encouraged this year to start growing more of our own produce as much as we can. One part of that answer is that I guess maybe I'm lucky, but they really need to be doing it, so I guess it's also unlucky. But my family needs to do a better job eating more vegetables, especially. That's something we need to do more of, especially my husband. He is not a veggie person, like at all. So I buy up, we do like doing salads and a bunch of other things. So I buy it up. I've used tricks like I've seen on Pinterest, like taking the salad greens and putting them in mason jars. They'll store up a lot better. Kind of just learning different ways that things store up well. Fruits that I can get that are not ripe, I'll get a lot of those to have for the end of the month. Like I said, bananas. I'll get like the super green bananas that we'll eat later in the month. And then I'll get a couple bunches of ripe bananas that we can start eating right away. And again, kind of pacing ourselves through so we can have some bananas, some fruits, some oranges, some berries, to eat for the, the week as it goes on, and kind of divvy things up that way. The stuff that I know is super perishable is the stuff that we just eat right away. It's just the first stuff, that we kind of dig into as the month, starts off. What else do we do to keep produce? And then sometimes I will have a second trip later on if we're getting better at rationing our dairy products. We used to struggle with that a little bit. But sometimes I have to go top up on like a little bit of milk or some more produce halfway or like in that last week of the month. But again, I'm just going in to get a few things. I know exactly what they are. I try to get pretty in and out. It doesn't take me very long. I'm pretty efficient time-wise and cost-wise with that. So and the fruits and stuff that I do get to keep in the house, I get things that I know hold up well. Like for the kids, apples and oranges I can put, and we'll start with the stuff that we know is going to go the soonest. There's just some things hold up better than others, so we might get some of the more fragile items. We just eat those first, and then the other things that hold up well, we have those round the clock type of a thing, and it works out well for us. Second trip is, I don't think it's ever been to Aldi because I don't make the drive all the way back over there. It's just here locally in town. I usually go to Ingles. Again, very selective. I know exactly what I need. I'm in and out pretty quick with that. So it usually works out okay. Also, I'll jump down a question, but back with the produce. A lot of pretty much with every dinner item we have, I steam vegetables to go with dinner. We don't do a ton of sides. We don't get super ridiculous with it. I make fresh bread a lot. That's a big one for our family. And pretty much with every dinner, we make some kind of like bread roll, cornbread, something like that. Not with everyone, but with a lot of them. And then I steam vegetables. Aldi has a great selection of organic frozen vegetables. I prefer that over canned stuff. And then we just steam vegetables a lot. That's what we do. And that's where I'm really excited to start gardening more, with the hopes that, I look how my kids are with just collecting eggs from the chickens. Like my kids would eat eggs, I think, for 3 meals a day now because they're so excited about our chickens laying eggs. They just want egg everything. So I'm hoping when we start gardening, that effect of being involved with the process of the fruit, the planting the seeds and watching it sprout and grow and produce these foods, I'm hoping will be a great encouragement to get my kids to really eat a lot more when it comes to plant-based foods and vegetables, peppers, things like that. So that's my hope. Fingers crossed. We will see this spring. We will talk more about it. But as of right now, it's a lot of frozen vegetables. I get different mixes of various different things. My smaller girls pretty much complain about all of the different options. So it's one of those like, whatever, I steam some vegetables, they're on your plate. Please eat them. They're good for you. Storing all the stuff is a big one that I get a lot of questions for, and people are like, there's no way I could do that. I don't have the room. I promise you, I really don't either. I'm telling you, I don't even have the full-size refrigerator. Plus, I store our dogs' food too, since we do the raw food diet for them. Yeah. And my pantry is, it's a decent size pantry, kind of, this little pantry closet over here, but it is very poorly put together, and this is a rental house. So I guess technically could construct some really awesome things to make it work better, but this isn't our house and who knows where we're going to be. So we just kind of work with what we have. I honestly, the boxes at Aldi, I will bring those home with me that the stuff comes in and use those to store them. Our fridge, when it first gets done, we have like the child latches on our like fridge doors to keep them like locked. And we have to use them to keep the door shut because there's so much stuff crammed in there at first that the doors will not stay closed. We have had problems where there's so much crammed in there that it ends up, like blocking up our freezer, and I have to like unload everything and get it fixed. And it's kind of, there's a couple little things, again, we've learned with each month. And so I feel like I've gotten a lot better at kind of configuring everything. And we know the drill. We've been doing this for a while. So getting everything to fit does take a little bit of figuring out. But again, where there's a will, there's a way. I don't have a super awesome showboat, kitchen with all of this awesome storage and places and stuff. I don't have that. I don't even have a full-size fridge. So I wish we had like a big deep freezer. That would be so amazing. Like, I think of so many things that would be great, but we don't have that. So I just make it work. And sometimes things are a little iffy. Sometimes stuff that I wish was in the freezer has to hang out in the fridge for a little bit until we can maybe eat a couple things. There are some things that we just don't buy anymore because I know I'm not going to be able to make them fit. So we definitely, it's one of those things, like having ice cream in our house is such a treat now because there's never room in the freezer for it. So sometimes at the end of the month when we've cleared out most everything, my husband or the kids will be like, oh, does this mean we can get ice cream? Because there'll actually be some room for it to fit in the freezer. So we definitely have to weigh those things. It's not, a perfect scenario. I wish we had like a big cool, like French door fridge and big freezer and we could store all this stuff, but we don't. But I think, again, the pros outweigh the cons here. Not having to run to the grocery store, not spending extra money going to the store all the time because you end up grabbing things, not having to lose that time, running in and running errands and doing all of that, knowing what's for dinner, not playing the, well, what do you want? What do you want? It drives me crazy. So all of those things for our family, it just far outweighs it, even if it means some things are kind of funky and don't really work right. Again, produce I think most of the questions, like the majority of the questions come to, how long does it take? What about produce? And how do you make it all fit? It takes a while. Okay, so if you're going to do this, like, expect all day to be dealing with your monthly grocery shopping trip. But then again, for the rest of the month, you don't have to think about it. So that part is really great. And then that's the big one. And then storing everything, you kind of just have to make it work and figure it out. Produce, yes, eat the sensitive stuff first and then move on to more heartier things and the things that you can freeze. Even kale and stuff like that we freeze and then use and add into things. And then that's a big part again for us where we want to start growing stuff so that way we have it fresh picked out of our garden and don't have to worry about buying any of the stuff. So hopefully that answered some of your questions. Got a lot of questions, but I feel like they all kind of boiled down to those topics there. If you have any other questions, please message and let us know what you think. Like this video if it's something that helped. Subscribe if you haven't already. We've got a lot of stuff coming up that I'm really excited to share with you guys. We've got podcasts and videos. We do a YouTube live every Saturday after our new series, Mary More Than Martha, comes out, which is really cool to share with you all. So anything we can do, lift up in prayer, please let us know. Ask any more questions down there. I'll get up to them as quickly as I can. And then again, everything else is linked down in our description box. So you can go check all that stuff out there. But thanks for hanging out with us. Hopefully something helped, and we'll see you guys next time. Let me show you guys our pantry. So this is like end of the month. This is what I'm working with here. So up here in this box, sorry, my like chipped up nail polish. Up here in this box, I keep all of our pasta. So it's all up there together. This has some extra tea and then like spices and things. I keep the chips always tucked up here because my girls would like sneak up here and eat them all. So I keep them up so I can ration them out. This is what's left. I just bought the whole flat of the granola bars. See, and there's only that one box left up there. So that's all. Now I knocked it over. Sorry. This is all that's left because we're at like the end of the month. And I think the girls ate a little more than they were supposed to. So they're going to be short a little bit up there. But all of those, again, here, see with the chips, I just take the box. The kids love Doritos, so we get the Aldi brand, and they can have a few with taco salad night, usually. So I just take the boxes that they come in, set them in. I've got cornbread tucked away back there, jams all together, tomato sauces lined up, green chilies lined up, this rice that we get, applesauce, salsa. You want to see how I just keep everything, try to keep it lined up. Wine for Sabbath for the kids and us back there. Some oatmeal left, some almonds to snack on. All the beans, keep them lined up. We bake a lot of pumpkin-y stuff, so we got that. Some ketchup. I bought a lot of ketchup because last month we went through a ton of ketchup, and this month, like, not too bad. So we're going to have plenty left over. this month that we won't have to get. Almost out of syrup though. And then these are what's left. See, they're week 4 snacks. They've got a little bit left here. And then baby bibs, some raisins they didn't finish going through. I did get them a few like mac and cheese that we didn't finish, so they've got a little bit there. Some gluten-free pasta for when my mom visits. And I get a matzo ball mix to make for the baby, so that she can have that sometimes. And we got some rice back here. So everything's looking low. Hello, Olivia. You want more snacks? All right, I'm coming. But that's how I keep everything. So that way it's all kind of nice and neat, and still it gets a little messed up as the month goes on. Some extra mayonnaise back there. Gets a little messed up as the month goes on. But for the most part, I can keep it somewhat organized and be able to come in here and see what we've got, what we need, and kind of where we at. And then I keep the bread just here in a basket so the girls can easily get it. My husband keeps some extra crackers. Not too bad. You think you're dying? You need some snacks? She loves these Aldi brand little. You want some snacks? Yeah. Okay, bud. Got some good stuff? Pretty good things? You knocked them all down on the floor? Olivia. Hi, big girl. Bun. Bun B. You got a mouthful, you don't care? Yay! Okay, this one real quick and then I promise I'm done. Hopefully, maybe. I just got another message in from one of you. Do you ever run out of meal ideas? And if so, what do you do? And I just think it's a really good one, so I wanted to throw it in here really quick. Hi, Miss Bunny. You guys, she's like the cutest baby ever. I know I'm a little partial, but she's so cute. My family is rather boring, I guess you would say, with a lot of our meal choices, and that's where I had a hard time when I'd find some like pre-made meal plans, because I was like, yeah, my kids are never going to eat that stuff. Like, that is not stuff we eat. You getting tired? Hold, please. Bunny's here to help. Hi, big girl. Show me your teeth. Can you see her teeth? She's got a top tooth up there. Nope, she's not going to share it. You want that? So I would see these meal plans that had all kinds of these like super awesome, you know, amazing curated foods and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, let's get real. Nobody's going to eat that in my house. So I always had to kind of make our own. We definitely kind of rotate things, especially seasonally. You know, cold months, there's certain foods we always tend to go to. Like, my family will not turn down a bowl of hot chili when it's cold. But summertime, we're much bigger when it comes to grilling food is a big thing we love to do. We do some grilling in the cold months still, but mainly, having like burgers and stuff are always on our menu plan during summertime. You want to go down there? Maybe not kill my back. So it's something that I started off, I went to each family member and said, what are your favorite things for mommy to make for dinner? And I would just list them all down. With each child, what's your favorite thing to have for dinner? Your kids might only have 1 or 2 things that they really like to eat, but maybe not. So I just went through each family member, starting with the kids, and asked them, what do you love to eat? Because I would get frustrated when I'd find these like amazing Pinterest recipes, and I would buy all these ingredients and spend all this money and make all of this stuff up only to serve it, and my kids be like, I don't want to eat this. Or everybody just kind of be like, it's okay. We'd rather just eat tacos, or something. So, that's really frustrating. I felt like I was wasting a lot of money, wasting a lot of my time. Sorry. I ate some chips as soon as I finished filming that last one because I kind of forgot they were up there, and then they looked good and I have like chips in my mouth. But I asked them what their favorite foods were. that way, at least if I'm putting all of the work into this, I'm feeding them stuff that they love and they're going to be excited to eat for dinner. And then once I did that, I went and sat down with my husband and we're like, hey, these are the foods that the kids all picked as their favorites. Is there anything on here that you're like, please no, do not feed us that? So I let him go through. Some of the items that are not his favorites are things that I will make like once or twice a month, and then we'll have them for lunch, or something like that. So that way people are still getting what they want, but it's not like, I don't know, whatever. So start with your family members. Ask them, what things do you like to eat? What are your favorite things to eat? And then each month when we do this, I will get and spend a little bit of time like on Pinterest or something, looking at, maybe I'm wanting a new pasta dish, or maybe I just want to look at like some seasonal, some good wintertime food or great summer foods or whatever. I will just kind of do some searching on there, and I have a board where I just kind of add when I'm scrolling through and I'm like, ooh, that looks really good. I want to have that on our monthly list. I will add it to that, and then I will kind of throw some ideas out to my husband and be like, hey, what if we throw this in the mix one day, or, or whatever. So that way we can kind of mix it up a little bit. But for the most part, I know the 2 nights. I know one night's pizza and one night's Sabbath. So those 2 are locked in. There's only 5 nights that I'm working on then. And so I feel like between my family, their suggestions fill in the majority of those nights, and then 1 or 2 then. So majority of the nights are nights that they've already picked out their favorite things. I can fill them with. Another egg? Another fresh, warm egg. Our chickens are all laying like crazy. Look at that already this week. And it's Monday, right? Yeah, so we've gotten 6 eggs already. Yesterday and today, right? Yeah, I guess so. They're laying like crazy, and it's so super exciting. We love it. So ask your family members what they want to eat. Make a list. Fill in as many nights as you can. Then if there's a few odds and ends, again, that's why I only need 7 meals per month, and 1's pizza and 1's steak. I know that. So 5 meals a month, and then we just repeat. And then at the end of the month, I'll get on, Pinterest, see if there's anything that looks good that we want to add in there. Sometimes I'll see like what another mom has shared on Instagram or something that they're making that sounds really good. And I'm like, ooh, we can totally add that in next month. Like we did this month with Stephanie from Minimalist Mom Life. She was making a pot roast, which my husband and I had actually been talking about wanting to add in, but so many of them out there, the recipes just needed so many ingredients. I was like, oh my gosh, no, thank you. And she shared hers, super simple. And so we added it into our January meal plan, which you can see if you go to that video. But really simple. If I had to come up with 20 or so meal items to do, throughout the month with something dinner every night, I would go insane, because that's what we used to try to do. I used to try to have something different every night so nobody was getting bored of anything. And then it was like we would get sick of stuff and just want to go to like our comfort foods that we enjoy eating anyways. So I could never come up with that many things. I would completely fail if that's what I had to do. But coming up with 5 items, way easier, super doable. And then we just switch them up each month, and it's not that big of a deal. I think simplicity works out actually pretty well. So give it a try. Who knows? Maybe, tweak it, adjust it, make it work for you. But I think that was a good one to think about. Ask your family, what do you want to eat? Instead of you thinking you have to do all of this work and come up with all these amazing things, ask people, like, what will you actually eat? What do you want? Maybe your kids just want chicken nuggets. I don't know. But you can come up with a way to make that work, so that way they're getting stuff that they actually want, but you're still balancing with the stuff that everybody truly needs, and make it work for your family so that you simplify the process. That's what we're all about here. That's what we're trying to do. So wanted to add that in. Thank you guys again for hanging out with us, and we'll see you next time. I promise this time I'm actually not going to come back, hopefully.